Well, so we finished off last session at the Church Vita, where you guys had just battled through an incident that kind of shook you a little bit. You weren't really sure what it was, and you weren't 100% certain that you have the means to deal with it on a regular basis, should it be something that becomes a regular occurrence. You did manage to save the life of Reynaldo and Nomi's partner in crime, Langston. You're still not 100% sure what happened to their other comrade, Frell, who seemed to be their leader, their ringleader of sorts. You're not even really sure who or what Frell was. I mean, you know he was a man. You know that he had some noble connections. But beyond that, you're not really 100% certain why his death was important to the magistrate. But you became involved, and in going back to secure Langston from the alley to save him from being questioned by Jegard Stanton, you witnessed a rather unsettling event. And upon returning to the church, you sat down and tried to get your heads around exactly what it was that happened there. And from there, we'll pick it up. It's kind of unnerving when you're not 100% certain what that was. And that's
talking about the hunt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay. Yep.
And it's not like mechanics wise and the game wise. I tried to give you a decent idea of what to expect, but as characters, that's not something that you would have ever have expected to encounter. But now that you're thinking about it, with all the people trying to avoid dreaming, trying to avoid going to sleep, maybe that's why.
I've never experienced anything like that in any of my meditations.
No.
We went to a haunted house once, but it was all guys and puppets. It wasn't really real haunts.
Yeah, and Zed's had some pretty vivid dreams, and the last couple of fortnights they've been especially memorable.
I feel like I need to do some research. I just don't know where.
So was that like an epicenter or something, or any idea?
Anybody who would
honestly
be
I
like
have no idea. It's just strange.
Anybody who would have like a knowledge skill or something like that might.
I was thinking religion.
Yeah.
I have knowledge skills. I can make a roll. Or aid.
Okay.
Knowledge planes?
Yeah, knowledge planes would count. Knowledge religion would count.
Yeah. Vague idea.
Yeah. Definitely definitely it almost felt like a summoning an ethereal summoning. That makes any sense?
Consciously being summoned or unconsciously?
Probably unconsciously.
How effective would a dispel magic spell work on them? Or is it a different kind of energy and it wouldn't affect it at all?
It might have an effect.
Okay.
It might be able to completely forestall it from occurring if you kind of sense something like that coming on. And you had the power to do it.
Yeah. Sami has heard such spells exist, but is beyond her capability.
You've seen creatures get summoned from other places. This kind of didn't feel like that exactly, but it wasn't completely different than that. It was almost like an area of magic came into being in a spot, as opposed to like a creature coming through. If that makes any sense.
No, explain it. So do we think there's no summoning circles or anything that we could track down? We don't think.
No, Langston seemed to be the epicenter of it.
And we have Langston with us? So we brought the epicenter here?
Yes.
Nice.
He seems to be, right now, resting peacefully, which is not what you saw in the alley. He was in the midst of a nightmare that you have seen. People sometimes have described you sleeping like that, Zed. When you're having your vivid dreams and you're going through things and you're not really in control.
It's spiders.
Yeah, but you've never encountered spiders or anything like that. You also remember Lord Danao when he was fed the trance by Maria. He was going through some sort of nightmarish scenario that you helped talk him through via communication via the message spell.
So if he's there's no way to look inside somebody's dreams, I guess.
But he should rest well here. He won't have nightmares here. This place is sacred.
And Rakkernash walks through the door.
What?
And he says, oh, the gang's all here.
Is it evening already?
No, I've got the data myself.
Well, then your timing is impeccable.
So what brings such an illustrious group such as yourselves together on a day like this? Gray, overcast, chill in the air, sitting around telling stories around three people I don't know sleeping on your floor.
3 rescued from the throes of nightmares.
Do tell.
She looks at Asami. You are better at spinning tales than I.
She can... I forget what we've told him and what we haven't. Does he know anything about what we were trying to do to save the couple?
He knows some because he was doing some poking into the
Brotherhood of the
gallows.
Spider.
The Brotherhood of the Spider, yes.
Yeah, he was doing some poking into that for us.
He describes the encounter and is extra, very careful to explain he had spiders crawling out of his mouth like she embellishes these details, but eventually, we defeat.
Until I physically shut his jaw.
Yeah, and save
He
them.
still has like handprints on the bottom of his face too.
But
And
you
his
told him
brother,
to shut up.
Spider. Yeah, and we managed to save him, and here we are. And we're considering going back in that building, and it's creepy. And she wants to highlight that.
Where did all this happen? Did you tell him about where you were and the occurrences and stuff like that?
I think we've built up a rapport with him where we can reveal this information without.
What was the noble's name that was poking around?
That was Frell.
No, Frell was the guy he was looking for.
Frell's the guy that died.
Yeah.
Is he not
Frell's
the
the guy
noble that we're talking about?
There was a noble that was looking for Frell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a magistrate, Jegard Stanton.
Oh, Stanton.
Rakkernash, are you familiar with most of the magistrates?
Some of them.
Stanton?
Oh, that filthy bastard.
Oh, I'm glad to know that it's not a...
That is... this stays between us.
Of course.
Lord Denal doesn't have the best relationship with his father. And Jegard Stanton is securely on Lord Denal's father's payroll. Does a lot of his bidding here and there. He has his fingers in a lot of pies. I hear right now, whisperings on the street is there's been a man died by the name of Frell Sarini. Frell is kind of like fourth son of a third son. The Sarinis are fairly well-connected nobles in the hierarchy of Lankhmar. Was probably Lord Denal's father's family, like Lord Denal's family and the Sarinis are probably in a very similar caste. They're like 2 or 3 ranks below the actual overlord themselves. They hold very high positions in the Lankhmar government, and I wouldn't say that they are rivals of the Valinors, which is Lord Denal's family, but the Sarinis are an old, well-established family in the city, and apparently Frell's ne'er-do-well lifestyle has somehow misfired on him. One of my bosses, not Lord Denal, but one of the people in the guild had told me to kind of keep my ear to the ground with regard to Frell, and they pretty much convinced it was a murder. They found him in the Gallow Fields. You familiar with the Gallow Fields?
Let me guess. He's claiming he couldn't sleep?
I don't know.
Or how was he found in the Gallow Fields?
Pretty much neck twisted. I wouldn't say he was tore apart, but he was not rent limb from limb, but basically something, maybe a group of men or something like that caught him and busted him up pretty good. As far as I could tell. I don't have the inside connection that Stanton does. The man doesn't like me too much. He knows that. He knows that I'm Lord Valinor's son's man, and that the son and the father don't get on so well.
I suppose his body is rather well protected.
I would imagine they've probably got him back at the Sarini estate. I would imagine so, anyway. And I don't know. Every different family has their own way to inter their dead. I know the Valinors have their own mausoleums and that sort of thing. I've only been on the Valinor estate grounds probably a handful of times. I usually go with Lord Denawan when we go to visit the father. His father's name's Essen, by the way. I don't know if you've heard of Duke Essen Valinor, but that's the man that everything precipitates down from. Denal tries to avoid him as much as possible.
I don't have to do what I wanted anyway if I could get it close to the body.
Did you find... What do you need to find from the body?
Well, hopefully what killed him. Or who.
I would think a snap neck. By the sounds, but it's hard to say.
Yeah, but who snapped it?
And what of the motive? Do you know what he'd been up to?
We have some theories, but until she Moses until arrested, I'm not going to test them too much. I haven't slept in weeks.
They look like shiver addicts. They have all the telltale signs. So they're the compatriots of the deceased.
Apparently the closest things to friends he's known.
I see. Well, what did they tell you before they went to sleep?
They were trying to sell a book. Well, they robbed someone of a book.
A book? Interesting.
You know, it's a book and something else. Don't recall.
Is the book related to things that you were involved with before?
Is this the book that opens the locks?
No.
Yeah.
As far as we understand, it's the book that... I don't know. I don't remember what it was. It was... I don't know. It was a book they were trying to sell. I'm sorry, it's been
a few weeks. Yeah, it was a book that they had stolen. They stole a book and a key. And some other crazy things that sort of make sense and don't make sense at the same time. Like there was some cutlery, some silver cutlery that they sold. They stole from this place. Had the initials JW. I don't know if that has any meaning or not. There was also like a bronze bird cage with a blue parakeet in it. for some reason, Frell stole that as well. And there was a couple other items that they, more mundane nature, that they sold for Shiver. And they got about a week's supply of it. And as far as you could tell, they had this this book and this silver key that Frell was convinced were worth a king's ransom, and he was going from place to place trying to find a buyer, somebody wealthy enough to, or in the know enough to extend their credit to acquire it, kind of thing. And somewhere in the midst of all that, Frell wound up dead. That's the story that you heard from Reynaldo and Nomi. Langston hasn't really corroborated it or denied or given you any new information or any conflicting information, because he hasn't really been.
Langston was in a state of mind.
Yeah, exactly. So if you had to guess, based on what these guys have been through, and now that they're kind of at peace, you'd probably say that it'd be 3 or 4 in the morning before 12 hours have gone by, and they're able to like come around and be lucid. So you got about a window of about 12 hours until that point. So it's at that point, like, you can go off and do like separate things, like do your normal run-of-the-mill stuff, and then meet back up here at like say 5, 6 in the morning, early in the morning. Or you guys can pick a place and focus on it. And so far as clues go, for places, they did tell you the location of the warehouse and the apartment where they sold this or stole these items from. It is on in a back court off of Cheap Street, between Carter and Cheap. There's a little, if you look at the map, somewhere in this neighborhood here. You think from the description you'd be able to find the building. They had like a convoluted route of how Frell went about getting into the building without arousing any suspicion. Where he went to the apartment next door and broke into an abandoned or an unlet unit, and then somehow made his way across onto the roof of the building, on top of the warehouse, and from there he accessed the second story window of a house on top of the warehouse, and from there he went about his thievery. It seems hard to picture doing all that, but until you had an actual visual of that. Also, you've got the Swan Row Courthouse, which seems pretty spooky right now.
Seems to have some issues.
Yeah, and also the Gallow Fields beyond. I think it was Zed who experienced kind of like a premonition or a lucid, not a dream, like a vision. Somebody was walking through the Gallow Fields, and the water started to rise up to their ankles, and as they walked through, and they seemed to be walking slowly, and they couldn't carry on, couldn't keep up with the rest, and then snapped out of it a second later and realized that they were just kind of hallucinating that a little bit. I forget who that was. It might have been Zed.
Yeah, I feel like it was.
Let's see. You're also the Rakkernash says, well, what I came by for today was to let you know that there's a rumor that the Brotherhood of the Spider have been spiking the well in the night market with Shiver.
Oh,
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
So,
Brotherhood of the Spider. Is that the assassins or something else?
That is a sorcerer's group.
Why would they do that?
Well, they control Shiver.
yeah, but why would they give it away for free? And Rakkernash points at Zed. He's like, it doesn't make any sense, does it?
Maybe the first dose is free type of thing? I don't know.
I don't know, but why would you continually do it? If it's very seldom do I get stonewalled like I have been by these spider brotherhoods people. I usually get to the matter pretty quickly, or know somebody who can. And
Seeing the well means you have a bigger audience. Maybe they're testing it. What does dosing the well get them besides control?
yeah,
Addiction.
And more people not sleeping.
it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
But judging from
wait,
who I heard it from,
Who did you hear it from?
oh,
Before
it's
my thought catches.
yeah, just a local flunky goes by the name of the Kestrel. Cost me 3 gold rilks.
But in people getting it in the well, they start to act like our friend Landon here. And summon spiders out of his mouth in a nightmare. But what does it get them?
Maybe that creates conduits for their magic.
It does, but so they use other people to get magic?
I don't
This
know.
is
Maybe
a sorcery
people.
I'm not familiar with if it is.
Well, people use dead bodies with magic.
Magic comes in many strange forms. I assume that they're trying to bolster their strength somehow.
But a public well.
Yeah, but they can feed off of people's dreams.
Hmm.
I don't know.
But what I've done is I've put a couple of my men on it, set them around, hang around there. There's a couple taverns nearby, and we'll give it a day or two and see what they come up with.
Hopefully they'll stay safe.
I told them to keep an eye on the well in particular, and if they saw anything, let me know. Oh, they'll be fine.
Yeah. I hope. We've seen too much of this in action lately.
So which lead shall we track?
I don't know.
Trying to think what else, other possibilities. The reality
Any lead?
wrinkle was weird. That was the bookstore.
Any lead we do track, we shouldn't track too long. Because I'll definitely want my rest before they wake.
The reality wrinkle, we believe it's connected to those who hear, correct?
Yes, it would definitely seem to be like that.
While those who hear are another group we should deal with, the Brotherhood seem like a more overt threat. Especially if they're spiking wells. Rumored to be spiking wells, that is.
The other thing that those who hear seem to be, based on the description that Reynaldo gave you of the temple in the warehouse, they also seem to be connected with those who hear. That's who they stole the book from. There was the drawings of Shithakwa on the pillars. Yeah. He described like that Frell told them they had like drawings of like a fat frog like thing all on the pillars in chalk. I don't know if he gave you that detail or not, but he would have told them about that.
So, what just to make sure that we are all on the same page, what leads do we have specifically about both groups?
Right now, it would seem like the Brotherhood of the Spider, all you really know about them is that they operate in the night market. They seem to be in control of the shiver trade. As far as you can tell, it's hard to tell. You tried to make some inroads there, and because you kind of stick out as outsiders, you hadn't been able to make any connections. Those who hear, you've had much more interaction with, and you're probably to the point now where a couple more incursions and a couple more confrontations that they would be no more. First started off with the temple that you guys are in right now, and then there's also the temple in the marsh. You also know that they seem to have some sort of connection with the reality wrinkle, which isn't too far from here, and that they also had some sort of connection with the temple where they found this book and this key. And there's also the now abandoned temple where the rogues at the Blue Canary had interactions with them and killed one of their priests in an underground temple in the sewers not far from Arthur's house.
So we need to go kill the Spider-Man.
Wasn't the birdcage described as having a blue canary in it?
A blue parakeet.
Oh, okay, a blue parakeet.
But, parakeet and a canary, pretty close. And
They look fairly close.
kind of weird coincidence.
Where did they sell? Say they sold that.
They said that they had sold that at... I'm trying to think exactly where. I know where it is. But I think that they sold that at the Iron Tikoon, which is Lord Denal's. Lord Denal's like kind of pawn shop in this area of town.
I wonder if Lord Denal would let us look at it.
The Iron Tikoon is just around the corner from where you guys are to the south on Carter Street.
Suppose it wouldn't hurt to look. If we want to look at that and follow that lead, but...
Yeah, it's quite possible that the parakeet was simply misidentified as parakeet.
You can give me a knowledge arcana check.
All of us?
Yeah, whoever's into curses and necromancy. Anybody into the dark?
Religion.
Anybody into black magic?
I would. Not this
religion.
Not this type
Yeah.
of curses. It's
Well, it's not really religion, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have Arcana. That's really
more into illusion and necromancy, it seems.
Sami says, I know stuff.
Asami,
again,
yeah. You know,
necromancy could be a sector of religion too.
you know that a lot of times when somebody wants to put a big bad mojo curse on a person or a place, they'll have trying to think of the word for it. Not a simulacra, but like a voodoo doll, sort of. And a blue parakeet, an effigy, a blue parakeet in a bronze cage, kind of resembling the stuffed blue canary in the Blue Canary.
Could be an effigy.
Could be. Maybe they're a bit of revenge on the rogues there. Maybe something that they were about to do in response to the what happened at the temple in the sewers. This kind of magic is kind of it's kind of dark and dangerous. It's more than any of you have ever gotten involved in. It's the kind of thing that you read about in creepy old storybooks. You're not really sure how someone would go about doing something like this, but you imagine if you were going to lay a pretty serious curse on a bunch of people who frequented a bar called the Blue Canary, you might want to have some sort of effigy. Otherwise, it's just a strange coincidence that a sect of
If we got our hands on it, we could detect magic on it so we could confirm whether there's anything on it or not.
And I might be able to potentially bless it in a way that keeps it from causing issues to the canary. I don't know. I think we're kind of fond of our friends there now. Or something like that.
We're not anti-Blue Canary.
Rakkernash says that's the pub in your neighborhood, no? He looks over at Arthur.
Yes, I got acquainted with some of them myself.
Well, better to be friendly than not friendly with that lot.
You could call us friends, sure.
Neighborly?
Neighborly.
As neighborly as I am with whatever the people she pays weekly.
Oh, yes, yeah, Poogs. Poogs men are not to be trifled with.
No, they've been good for me, though.
Well, yeah, there's been no vandalism or fires, no break-ins. All seems well. It's nicely appointed as well. You're doing well with the decorations and it's feeling very homey. Kind of cozy, sort of safe. I can see why they're getting a decent night's sleep.
Yeah. Just hope it stays that way.
I was heading over to the Iron Tikoon. I was going to make a stop along the way. I've got a bag to pick up, which is why I came by. I was in the neighborhood. If you want to come over with me, I don't remember a bird in a cage or anything like that, but I oftentimes don't pay much attention when I go in there.
Could have been resold, and we could ask who was sold to.
Well, I say it's our best option at the moment.
And if we come up with a dead end, there's a little pub nearby. I could buy you lunch.
Sold.
All right.
Following the canary is chasing down the spider client.
Yes.
Well, then the canary seems to be... I thought the canary had more ties to those who hear.
Correct.
Wasn't
Okay,
it their temple
that's
that
what I'm
was
clarifying.
located
Yeah. Yeah, those who, like, right now, pretty much everything you know is all about those who hear.
at?
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know enough about the spiders to really do anything to them.
Yeah. You haven't really
They're
even
untethered.
encountered any of them yet.
If we, in the best case scenario, those who hear and the spiders might know each other, and by dealing with those who hear, we could find out about the spiders, in the best case scenario.
Yeah, you imagine that there's
One could
two...
lead to the other.
Yeah, there's two sects, and they're kind of running along similar lines. You know that those who hear were responsible for the incursion of the drug trance when it was popular before you guys went out to their temple and killed them all. And they were trance was kind of taking over the Marsh District, and that was a put you right to sleep drug. And you guys learned a lot about that drug. That was a drug that was distilled from the some kind of weeping ether from the great beyond. It was and ever since that time, Shiver has kind of taken over. The people have wanted to avoid going to sleep. You had your time down in the dungeons beneath Jan Pickett's, the keyhole. And when you came up, it was kind of like a whole different world out here. So somehow you imagine that based on what you've seen from the nightmares and the people trying to stay awake and stuff like that, you can imagine that a drug like trance would really lose its popularity.
Yeah. Potential rival issues.
Yep. So you would imagine that two groups like that would have some sort of knowledge of one another anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of pedaling in opposite directions. It's a different kind of clientele for each, but yeah, they're both kind of swimming in the same river, so to speak.
If we're particularly lucky, those who hear might have information about how to potentially harm the Brotherhood of Spider. If we're particularly lucky.
Well, that's interesting. That's your supposition that the blue parakeet is kind of a focus for a laying of a curse. They may also have something set aside for the laying of a curse of arrival as well. And they might also have knowledge of you. And something set aside for the laying of a curse for the people who were directly responsible for shutting down their Main Street temple.
It's a risk we're willing to take at the moment.
I believe I heard free lunch.
Yeah.
All right, so over to the Iron Tikoon, which is just down the street of the Gods, and then a hard left onto Carter Street, probably a couple 100 feet, and then you are there. Rakkernash opens the door, and there's the two young men. There's the tall red-headed man, and then the tall dark-skinned, curly-haired man. Is like the dark-skinned, almost Negro, is the Klesh is the race. It's from the southern part of the continent in which Lankhmar resides. They have a large city called Tovilius. They're quite common within the city of Lankhmar. And then the red-headed people are from the north of the even north of the land of the 8 cities into the cold wastes. There's a fabled city of No Umbrellas. They're quite common there. And the young man who has the red hair, his name is Arab. And the dark-skinned gentleman, his name is Cole. And they're both young. They're probably actually young to me because I'm 1,000 years old. But probably not young to your characters. Probably around the same age, early to mid 20s, with a pretty big responsibility of running a pawn shop in a kind of seedy part of town. You see a couple slayers are there on duty as guards as always, and Bull gives you a big smile. He recognizes all of you, and he goes, "Hey, how can I help you guys today?" Oh, Cole. I said Bull. Cole.
I'm interested to see something you might have acquired recently.
Yes. What can I show?
Bronze cage with a blue bird in it.
It seems to have been a pretty popular item. We sold that 5 days ago. That Magistrate Stanton was here asking about that a few days back.
Of course he was.
He was looking for the man we bought it off of. I'm pretty sure he's a shiver addict. I think he said his name was Freen. Was it Arab?
Frell?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. We gave him... I think the parakeet was sick. So we gave him 4 silver smarducks for it. We sold it for 10. I think the parakeet was just hungry. We fed it, and it seemed to perk right up with a couple dishes of water and some seed.
Is it a parakeet or a canary?
I don't know. I'm not an ornithologist.
Was the bird sold alongside the bird cage?
Yeah. Somebody came in and specifically gave us a gold rilk for it. Pretty jittery gentleman. I wouldn't have thought him capable of holding a gold rilk, but without dumping it away on Shiver or Pesh or something like that. But yeah, he was quite keen to buy it. He came right in and we sold it to him.
What he looked like?
Yeah, he was covered in some scabs. Smelled pretty bad. Pretty like unwashed, kind of like sleeping on the streets. He kind of smelled like the marsh.
Didn't perchance catch their name?
I don't think we even asked. To be honest with you, I just wanted the damn thing gone. It was making a hell of a racket. And we almost tripled our money. Still can't move these the silverware here. I don't know where they stole that from, but JW, whoever that is.
Can I see it?
The silverware, absolutely. Yeah, we showed that to Magistrate Stanton. We figured that's what they were here for. Magistrate Stanton was looking for some stolen items. He was asked us about a book, and we didn't see a book. No book, no. We showed him this cutlery. He just kind of snorted, went off.
I'm very curious about this cutlery, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, absolutely. He lays out a set of 8 like butter knives, but all in silver, and 8 forks, and two different sets of 8 spoons. Altogether, just the silver alone, it's probably worth like 50 or 60 silver smarducks. But the whole set, all engraved and stuff like that, if your initials were JW and you were looking for something fancy like that, maybe they're selling it right now for 100 silver smarducks. Arab pipes in and says, Cole's being pretty ambitious with 100 silver smarducks, but we'd settle for 75. We paid 50 for it.
Rakkernash,
Yes.
Is there any family names with these particular initials? Nobles or otherwise?
See here.
Nobles or magistrates or...
Let's see here. Well, that's
a bit of a long shot, but...
let's have a... I don't, nobody that jumps right out at me. I don't know, like a handful. By name. Nobody W. I'm trying to think.
I don't know, I figured it would be a unique surname for certain.
There's no magic taint on these things, is there?
Gonna do like a spell right in front of the guys.
How many guys?
2 in particular. It's just the 2 managers of the shop and 2 slayers they're on guard. They're basically watching the door. They aren't really paying much attention to you guys at all. I imagine you're probably like 40 or 50 feet away up by the counter doing stuff. And there's like rows of all kinds of items.
Nah. Bakai distract him a little bit, and I'll just take a fork and kind of turn around and see if I can't do it.
Sure, yeah. Give me
Do they not have verbal components?
yeah, they have verbal and maybe even material and somatic for sure.
I think so.
It's verbal somatic.
Somatic.
Detect magic.
Might even have a focus for a divine caster. I don't know.
I'm not. So what do I need?
Do you do any stealth?
Sure.
Or maybe like Bakai, you want Bakai to distract? What is she going to do to distract?
She's gonna pick him up and start talking about him and asking, "What do you think about it?" to some of the other guys to distract him. Do you know anybody, JW? Do you think this would look good if I invited you to dinner? That type of thing.
Okay. Give me some kind of either a bluff or diplomacy or something that you think Bakai might be good at along those lines.
Oh! If I see it going poorly, I'll just...
Yeah, Bakai jabs him in the throat with a silver knife. No,
if she took her shirt off, would that work?
Absolutely would.
He said 75. I'll pay him the 75 and scoop him into a bag.
Oh, okay. You want to purchase these? Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's see. 7 gold rooks and 5 silver Smirnox, right?
Correct.
All right. That's 2 and 3. Okay, I marked it off. I'll just check him later.
All right.
Nothing else. I have silver.
Yeah.
I don't have silver to cast spells with.
You can in a pinch, you could probably sharpen these knives to.
I've seen Mystery Men. I can use the forks.
Yeah, exactly. You could probably use them as like a weapon in a pinch. There's also enough silver in the whole set to maybe make a short sword or maybe even a long sword or a spearhead or stuff like that if you went to an armor or a weaponsmith.
All right. Well, we'll tuck it in the bag and roll it a day.
Okay. And then so Rakkernash takes you over to a pub across the street on Carter Street. It's pretty busy, and the guy recognizes Rakkernash right away, and he's like, "Get these guys a table." And so Rakkernash gives him a thumbs up, and Within a couple minutes, they've got a space cleared away for 6 or 7 people. You guys can all sit down, and everybody just kind of parts, sort of, to make room for you guys. But then once you guys are settled down, everything just kind of like flows back over around you and goes back to normal. You can tell that Rakkernash has a little pull here. It's like, hey, Ray, there he is. How you doing? And
Avis looks at him. I need to let you take me out for lunch more often.
oh, he says, don't eat the soup, whatever you do. But the sandwiches are good. And it's pretty much a dive bar, but it's pretty busy, and it's pretty cheap. He gets like beers or wines or whatever you want to drink, and he orders like a dozen sandwiches for the table. And you notice that he doesn't seem to pay for it. You know, whether he's got some kind of agreement with the person or a tab or something. He's like, help yourselves.
Thank you. I do not fill up on bread.
You also notice, too, that back over at the Iron Tikoon, Rakkernash took a pouch of coins. And he's got them tucked in his shirt. If you had to guess, it probably holds about 400 or 500 coins in total. What was that, Matt?
Earnings for Lord Denal, I assume?
Yeah, yes. The weekly take, as it were. Save him a trip. He during festival season, he doesn't like to go to the Iron Tikoon so much because Carter Street is so jammed up. He can't take a carriage. Says he hates walking the street during the festival, so he sends me to do it a couple times a week. Hates the traffic. Says that this time of year is great for business, but it's also one of his least favorite times.
All right, so have our lunch, and then where are we off to next?
I don't think we right now, because we were hoping to get a hold of that cage with the bird in it.
And we can't really track down the mendicant that I'm assuming was sent in to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like everybody who's out and about in that part of town.
Yeah.
So wasn't there another? That was the shop. Yeah. We don't know where the spider people are. They've got the well being watched.
Yeah, he says when I get back to Lord Denal's, I'll send a couple men out for that.
Okay.
We could try investigating Stanton more directly, since he seems to have an obvious interest.
All right.
The Rakkernash says he's got an office off of Temple Street, Temple in Noble, and Luna can verify. She's been there.
Well, let's go visit.
All right. Well, I will give you regards to Lord Denal. I will take my leave.
Thank you.
Thank you for the lovely day, and we'll have to do this again soon.
Of course.
Good day.
Appreciate you, Rakkernash.
And I appreciate you all.
I'll see you later then.
Take care of yourselves. And be careful around Stanton. Man's a bit of a viper.
All right.
All right, so right here on the map, more to the center of town. If you go along the Street of the Gods, you'll come to Noble Street, which is one of the smaller streets in the district or in the city. And you go north along Noble Street, past a couple large temples and estates and stuff like that, and then you come to almost kind of like a seedy office building. It's about 5 stories tall. It's old. It's not made of brick. It's mostly made of wood, and it kind of has a lean to it. And you go inside, and there's various offices and stuff like that. And Magistrate Stanton's offices are on the 3rd floor. And there's like a little sign, Jegard Stanton, 3rd floor. An office for him to conduct business. So it's not like it's not like the public is prohibited from being here. You could definitely just walk in and walk right up. Did you want to do anything while you're maybe out of everybody's sight? Like, I know you wanted to check the
Yeah, I'll check
the silverware. Yeah, there's no magic on the silverware.
Okay. But a lot of silver.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth at least what you paid for it.
You have the raw material now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a raw material for, at least a couple things that Avis can do with it.
It's a component.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else that you might want to do? You enter. It's not booming, busy, or crazy, or anything like that. There's various offices. You can see people at desks and stuff like that. There's like one. It looks like almost like a barrister firm has an office in here, and there's almost looks like a secretary sitting there and a couple people waiting. And then down the hall, you can see a flight of stairs going up. And on the stairs, there's nobody around. So if you wanted to work some magic, it would be a perfect opportunity to do such a thing. If you had like a long standing spell that you wanted to do, or anything else that you might want to get cooking.
Like a summoning ritual?
Yeah, you definitely do a summoning ritual on the stairs.
No, I'm kidding. I don't have anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I need to cast anything right now.
Okay. So you go on up. See, it's like just a plate on a door. It just says J. Stanton. It's just a wooden door, no window in it or anything like that. Knock. Knock. Okay.
Yeah.
And a young man comes to the door and opens it. Oh, hello. How are you today?
We're doing great. How about you?
Oh, it's been a lovely day so far. Nice and quiet.
It has.
What can I do for you fine folks today?
We need to see, what's his name, Stanton?
Yeah, it's
No.
Yep.
Is that the guy? Or is it?
Yeah,
I'll type it out for you.
Yeah, Jegard Stanton.
Anyway, we need to see that guy.
Oh, okay. Well, he's in. Well,
Excellent.
he's I have to warn you, he's in a bit of a mood.
Oh, that's okay. We'll give him a good googly day.
I can't imagine why.
He came back a couple hours ago and he was quite sour.
Did he go anywhere particular?
I don't know. He didn't say. My name is Mycroft, by the way. Who might
Well, perhaps we can cheer up his mood.
who might you all be?
Nice to meet you, good sir.
Are
Arthur
you-
Belair.
Yeah, well, say my name.
It's lovely to meet you. Lovely to
Yeah.
meet you. I'll go let Magistrate Stanton know that you're here. What is this regarding?
This is, shall we say it? This is regarding, what's our friend's name? We have information
Are you
on,
talking about? Are you wanting to say the name of the person he's looking for, or the
Yes.
name of the person?
The person who's dead?
Frell is the name you're looking for.
yeah, we have some information on Frell.
Oh, he'll be most anxious to hear from you.
See, I told you we'd make his day.
Okay, I'll go tell him right now. So Mycroft scutters around. There's a couple desks and stuff like that, and he goes around a corner and then down a hallway, and goes into a door, and then comes out, and behind him is like Mycroft's probably about 5'8", 5'9", kind of mousy. He's got in his mid-20s, but he's definitely combing it over. He's losing it on top, and he's got it kind of like slicked down and stuck to his head. So yeah, it's not obvious to him that you can't see all his bald spots, but it's pretty apparent that he's super bald, and you can tell that that habit probably picked up from what you see from Jegard Stanton, who also quite does the same, but he's considerably shorter. He's about 5'1", 5'2", and he's very stocky, kind of broad almost. He's got a thin mustache, and he's kind of got a scowl on his face. Hello, Magistrate Stanton.
Good afternoon, Honorable Magistrate Stanton. How are you this fine day?
I've had better days and I've had worse days. Mycroft says that you may have some information for me. Is that correct?
Tell me, what is the worst days?
You don't want to hear about that. Come into my office.
We'll go in.
Okay. You can tell he's got a couple offices. He's got one where he sits and does work at a desk, and he's got another office where he maybe entertains. So he takes you to the office where he might entertain. It's got a couple large, plush, comfortable couches and some plush, comfortable chairs. He's got a chair that you can tell the way everything is kind of seated, that it's focused on this chair. He sits down in it, and it's got kind of like a side desk with a little writing tablet and stuff like that. Handy should he need it. He's also got some cigars on tables. He's got like a decanter of hard liquor on a little side table with numerous crystal glasses. And as he kind of gets in, he says, "Can I get any of you a refreshment?"
Oh, please.
I take it brandy is sufficient. That's all I have at the moment.
I love brandy or port, whatever you have.
Okay.
I'll abstain.
Okay. He'll pour whoever wants one. He says, "Help yourself to the cigars." It's interesting that you have come to me.
We know you're searching for... God, what's his name? Frell?
Frell. Yes.
Frell. We know you're searching for Frell. We may have a common cause.
No, I'm.
Right.
He says I'm not searching for Frell. Frell's quite dead. I'm searching for whoever might be responsible for the death of Frell.
Oh, who do we have? Where's this? Looking for Langston. We have Langston, right?
Okay, yeah, but he's not specifically looking for anybody by name.
He's looking for whoever might know about Frell's death.
Yeah, he was, and you guys kind of skirted them out of there before he found out that they were pretty certain that they wouldn't stand up to scrutiny from him. And they were quite happy that you guys escorted them out.
Oh, that's right. That's the...
Now they're going to get ratted out immediately.
Yep.
No,
So
no.
now
I
you
don't
just...
think we should rat them out.
Yeah, you
No,
guys might want to take a minute and consider.
We think that Frell's demise has something to do with the spider cult. And I think we're on the same path as you. So we came to see if we can't share some information skirting the obvious of ratting out people.
The plague of Shiver in the Marsh District is an absolute horror. What those poor people are going through. It breaks my heart to see. And I believe that you are right that whatever befell Frell probably is connected with those responsible with the Shiver trade. And we believe some sort of cult calling themselves the Brotherhood of the Spider. Are we
yes.
Of the same?
We are aligned.
Yes.
And what brought you to see me?
We saw you searching in a couple of areas while we were doing our investigation too. Coming to it from a different angle than you, but I think we're searching for the same thing, and wanted to compare some notes. And I'll share the potential tampering of the well that might be occurring that's spreading this. And, tie together our activity in the swamp that we think is tied to the Brotherhood. Now that we've eradicated the swamp, they've moved to the city.
I see. This is most interesting. It's the would you be interested in accepting a retainer to research?
Do I get a badge?
This? No. Of course, I couldn't have it known that you were working for me specifically.
I think we want the same thing. I mean, unless this retainer is hugely huge, I don't care. I think we want the same thing: is to eradicate this drug menace in the city and this spider cult.
I do as well, and I think that I'd be willing to offer a reward of 100 gold rilks to a group such as yourselves.
Okay.
Is that amenable?
I look at the group. I don't care. I think we're going to do this regardless.
Well, it's clearly beyond the means of my men to. I believe I've hit a bit of a dead end in my research. My name only carries so much weight down there. People don't fear me like they do along the Street of the Gods, or even into the Cash District. There, I'm just another part of the law. So they're not afraid of incarceration, or fine means nothing to them.
Good sir, I am certain that we can spread fear on your behalf, as in our investigations we had been alerted about a certain item that may be of interest to us. A brass bird cage with a blue parakeet inside.
Okay.
As far as we're aware, such things.
When you say that, I want everyone to give me a sense motive roll. I'll just put a pin in that, what you were going to say there, Arthur.
Yeah.
Because you said, I believe we're, it might be regarding blah, blah, blah. And Asami got the distinct impression that he was hoping you said something else. Because he kind of like leaned in a little bit, just as you were about to say. And then you said the bird in the bird cage, and he kind of eased off.
Is he looking for a catchphrase? Like in spy novels?
Assume my 10 isn't enough to catch that.
Your 10 isn't enough to catch that, so you'll continue saying what you said.
Yeah.
Continue. Mm-hmm. Sorry to interrupt.
Through our research, we have come to the conclusion that these usually act as magical effigies, usually. And we were looking to find such a thing, but unfortunately we were at a dead end for that, at least until we were told that you were also searching for such a thing.
No, I was not searching for any of these effigies. You can tell he looks kind of confused by that. He says I was looking. I have connections with the family, and the family is quite distraught. Of course, if we were to find out that a group such as this spider cult or whatever were responsible for the death of the beloved nephew of one of our noble families, we could take extremely heavy-handed means with regards to them. They're extremely elusive. I've had men undercover, and we haven't really been able to make any inroads, other than they seem to be centered around the night market. But unless you're a person of that ilk where they know you specifically, it's very difficult to get an invitation of acceptance into any business dealings with them. They're extremely wary. This cult brotherhood of the spider, as it were. So you say there was mention of a bird in a cage. I did see it at the. I believe they sold it at a pawn shop on Carter Street. I can't remember the name of it. I didn't. I didn't find any connection. I mean, obviously it was Frell who did it, but and his compatriots who I'd be looking for. But I didn't find any connection to this spider brotherhood. We did see the bird in the cage. It was quite annoying. The young men who were there seemed eager to be parted with it. Is it still there? Did you follow that lead as well?
The bird was actually sold. Apparently sold to a very jittery man who paid an entire rilk for it, but no names were given.
A rilk, I see. Must have some sort of importance. Something I overlooked. Are you with the guild, the sorcerers?
No. However, we are in belief, however, that the spiders are sorcerers themselves. Speaking of sorcerers, are you familiar with a group known as Those Who Hear?
They were rather troublesome for a time, but they've seemed to have gone mostly underground. There was a burgeoning another drug that was threatening to take over, and quite all of a sudden stopped. There was some sort of following on the near the Marsh Gate a church of some sort. We went by several times and rousted them out, and they came back. Anybody we arrested quickly turned back out. The business of the Marsh District it's pretty much polices itself down there. We don't like to mess around too much down there. It's if they're going to kill themselves with drugs and that sort of thing, well, that's their business. But it's gone overboard. It's gotten to the point now where it's threatening other parts of the city, and especially during this time of festival.
Mm. The reason I ask is because we are under the belief that those who hear in the Brother of the Spider might have information about one each other, particularly harmful information, considering how both groups are sorcerous in nature and peddle complete opposite drugs as one another.
Yes, I hadn't really thought of the those who hear as a threat. Like I'm sensing that this spider cult is. It was much more orderly when they were at the top of the hill, so to speak. Now it's mayhem down there. You've seen the marsh, obviously. You've the district. It's like a giant camp now. People sleeping on the streets, defecating everywhere. It's filthy. It's if I had my way, I'd get 300 men and we'd just go in and clean up. But of course, it's not my business to tell the noble dukes and duchesses of the city how to run their businesses. So,
at least not officially.
No, not officially. Although I do have a little influence, but mainly right now I'm trying to solve the murder of Frell Sarini. His family's rather distraught. Do you know anything about that? Somehow this have ties with this Brotherhood of the Spider? Or even those who hear?
Almost assuredly.
Any actionable connection I can...
Do we have anything? I'm trying to think.
Out of character. We do have accounts from... this is out of character. We do have accounts from Langston about a possible reason as to why the Frell was killed. I believe we do, at least. It's been a while. I may have forgotten some details.
Well,
I think we do.
Yeah,
but...
he was trying to sell the book and the key, and you don't know if you didn't ask about the book and the key. You could ask about the murder.
In order to make
until they...
In order to make sure that we don't give you information that is completely pointless to you or something you already know, can you tell us a bit more about the specific murder itself, the condition of the body?
Absolutely. Seeing as you're willing to work on spec, as it were, and for a reward, absolutely. I can tell you that Frell Sarini was found dead in the Gallow Fields. His neck twisted all the way around, his arms bent all the way back, facing the opposite direction. His shoulders broken, his legs broken, his knees broken. But we don't think that's what killed him. The physicians who came to look at the body said he drowned in the middle of a dry field.
Drowned or suffocated?
Drowned. His lungs were completely full of water.
Did you know Frell well?
I wasn't even aware of him until a couple days ago. This was in my position in the governance of the city. I have connections with various families, and the Sarinis are well known to me. But this younger nephew of the Sarinis was sort of a ne'er-do-well, from what I understand. He kind of taken to living on the streets in the marsh. He had some rather negligent habits. He was rather a black sheep, as it were. And he... but still, they are still eager to turn up his murderer.
What was his name?
Frell Sarini.
No, okay. Do you know any families that have the initials JW?
Families, no.
I'll pull out a fork and show the crest. Do you know this crest?
Okay. He says, yes, that's... Let me see here.
JW Marriott. The fanciest hotel in town.
So recognizing the crest would be nobility, right? Or is
Yeah.
it not? I don't think I rolled on that already.
He says that was a merchant by the name of Jarek Wiln. He is more of an accounting firm. Maybe he does some barrister work. He's in the cash district. His manor was burgled a couple months back.
Oh. So I'm just thinking out loud, not thinking in the room. This isn't out loud in the room. So the guy came in with silverware, and he came in with the bird, right?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we need to visit that merchant and see what his tie is in all of this, or accountant, or whatever it is.
He says, as far as I know, of course, I don't get called to every common burglary, and a lot of that's guild business. I don't want to, but Jarek Wiln was fairly high up in the Barristers Guild, and he his manor house was burgled, mostly for gems. There was quite a few gems that went missing. Specifically, had a rather large collection of onyxes. And you guys can make an Arcana check.
Did he have any canary blue gems?
He says,
I was a little distracted because a spider in real life started dangling from my ceiling.
oh no, the brother of the spider's coming to get Matt.
So I wasn't fully paying attention for obvious reasons. I heard Arcana check though.
Yes. Onyxes. He had a rather large box of onyxes stolen. You have encountered onyxes as a material component for an animate dead spell in the past.
I have onyxes in my inventory, actually.
And that's how you got them. He had a rather large collection of onyxes burgled, as well as some cutlery and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
he was quite upset because he had paid the guild, Thieves Guild, considerably protection money, and
did he mention the bird?
No mention of a bird.
Okay, he's somebody else we should visit.
Yeah, what was a bit of the information about Jarek Wilns? Like I said, I was a little distracted, one could say.
The silverware came from an accountant.
Yeah, came from his manor house, and that a bunch of onyxes were stolen.
So that the silverware showed up with the parrot at the pawn shop, and now we've tied that the guy's probably into necromancy also. So the parrot may or may not have been stolen at the same time, but my guess is the three have something threaded.
The Stanton, since I was longer than a couple months ago. We're already into it was probably 3 or 4 weeks before the Night of Fear. So we're going back probably 4 or 5 months now. Now that I think of it, maybe even 6. I just I remember he was quite put out. Yes, out of character.
Out of character. Langston and the others, they stole the silverware as well as the book from the same location, right?
Yeah, they stole the silverware, the bird cage, the book, and the key from the same location, which is the quote-unquote warehouse temple.
Interesting. Okay.
I think we should visit Mr. JW.
Well, I'm sure he would be quite pleased to see some of his property returned.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that neighborhood well? The cache, as it were. I could give you directions. He's probably business hours now. It's so he would have. Yes, he would have been. Let's see, between Cash and Craft, somewhere on Gold Street.
Is that his home? I don't want to visit his office. I want to visit his home.
Oh, okay. His home isn't. Let's see here. It is on the. Let's see here. The corner of Silver and Cash. Probably there's a. It's not far from the Golden Lamprey, if you've ever been there. I can give you the actual address, and he writes it down. It's there's a little alleyway off of Silver Street that you recognize from going to the gallery, and the Golden Lamprey is pretty much right next to the gallery, and the Silver Smerduke is right next to that, basically. And you know that if you continue down Silver Street, there's a little alleyway, and at the end of that alleyway, which goes into a neighborhood, is seems to be the address where this home is. Jarek Wiln.
Okay. I'm for visiting Jarek at the evening.
Well, you've got. He gives you like a little placard, and he says,
"Is that like a badge?"
No, there's no connection with me whatsoever. But in case you ever need it for whatever the guard, or you could just tell them you're on Magistrate Stanton's business. You'll probably.
If I wear it like a lanyard, will I get respect?
You may get it stolen from you.
Okay.
You might want to keep it in case you just in case it comes up. But I appreciate this a great deal. I was at a bit of an end. If you could find out who was responsible for that young man's death, and also see an end to this Brotherhood of the Spider, I would be more than happy to pay the 100 gold rilks.
All right. Thank you. Makai takes a third brandy, downs the last of mine, and we're with him. I do.
Before we go, are you aware of any possible headquarters of the spiders? Because we have come up with basically no information of our own.
I'm afraid we're at the same level then.
They are extremely protective of themselves, it seems.
And for good reason if they're murdering citizens and poisoning wells.
I'm certain that we'll find a weakness in their armor eventually.
You seem the capable sorts, much more capable than any of my lieutenants. I look forward to your reports.
We will report to you shortly.
Best of luck to you then. And feel free to
Down.
take a cigar on the way if you wish. He fires one up for himself. He's quite happy now.
Bakai takes a fourth brandy and slams it down.
Okay.
Waves goodbye.
All right.
Okay. Let's visit the JW in the evening.
As addressed, we're confident we can go straight to it with the directions we have, or do we need knowledge local to...
No, you guys are pretty confident you can find it. Like I say, it's not far at all from Duke Denal's home. Let's see here.
Would I need to re-up my mage armor by the time I get there?
No, definitely not. It's probably only about a 30-40 minute walk to there.
Well, do we want to go a non-direct route in case we're being watched, or do we not care about that?
What time of day is it?
It's mid-after. I'd say late afternoon. Probably at 4 or 5 o'clock.
We have bounced from place to place asking questions. It's not out of the way to think that got the attention of someone.
All right. Well,
if somebody has the attention of us, if somebody has their attention of us and they try to act on that, that's people we can question, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't show up before 5, and if it's a 30-40 minute walk, we can take a roundabout way, grab a little, dinner, and then show up.
Okay. So let's say you maybe head down by the river and cut back around. Maybe stop at a couple pubs along the way. You
anybody who we think following us, or
nobody?
any?
Doesn't seem to be anyway.
Okay.
You get to a rather well-appointed home in one of the back neighborhoods off of Silver Street, and you see like almost like a brass placard, and it just says "The Wiln Residence." Big lion's head brass knocker on the door.
I pick up a fork, look at the crest, look at the plaque.
Yeah, it matches.
Put the fork away. Bang, bang, bang.
A man dressed in a suit, an old man, bald. He's got the captain's cut, bushy white eyebrows. He's probably like 5'7", 5'8" at the time, but he's kind of stooped over, so he's probably like 5'2", 5'3". He opens the door and he's
barely taller than Avis. Got it?
Yeah, he's got like this almost like a sleepy look in his eyes, and he opens the door and he says, "Hello."
Good day, sir. We're with Magistrate. What was his name that we just came from? Stanton. And we need to ask some questions about the crime that occurred here. We have some information and possible source of some of the loot.
Oh, I will get Master Wiln for you. And he come in, and wipe off your boots. And he just kind of gives a and goes up a set of stairs, and a younger man comes down. He's probably mid-30s. He looks extremely well dressed. This place is it's not palatial, but it's well appointed. It's got like rich oaks everywhere, and you can definitely the smell of a fire, like fireplace, stone fireplace, not far from it. It's warm. It's a lot of rugs and stuff like that. Brocades on the wall. So everything's pretty expensive. And he comes walking down in a kind of like a silk over jacket kind of thing, like a smoking jacket almost. And oh, hello. How are you today?
We're doing quite well. Do we have the pleasure of? Was it Jack? Wilkins?
Jarek Wiln, yes.
Jarek Wiln.
My man tells me there may be some headway regarding the robbery.
Yes, I think we found some things, but let me just, since we've been asked to research this crime more thoroughly, you can see a crack team has been assigned to look around at us.
Indeed. Look, this is much better than the response that I got the first time.
Well, we understand how important this is for such an important person as you.
It would have been much more timely 6 months ago when it actually happened.
Well, we have leads now. So, you lost silverware. You lost, what was it, Paradox or
Onyxes.
There was a whole yes.
And you lost a bird in a cage, right?
No bird, no cage. Just a coffer full of onyxes and all my good silver.
No bird in a cage.
No bird.
Do I sense motive that he knows anything about a bird?
Yeah, he seems kind of disgusted by the keeping a bird in a cage. Maybe he's a bird lover, or maybe he just doesn't like birds. It's hard to tell.
It doesn't seem like he's trying to like brush that away.
No. He seems kind of disgusted by the fact that someone might keep a bird in a cage.
Do I see anything that might give me the sense that he might be into magic?
No, definitely not.
So onyxes are.
He doesn't see it, or he's not into magic.
He doesn't see it, and it doesn't appear that he is into magic.
Okay.
These onyxes, an unusual gem to have in this city.
Yes, they are from the apparently the bones of the old ones. Apparently, there's a mountain range far to the north. Rather exotic. A rather exotic sort was in a bit of a spot, I must say, and due to my litigating skills, I helped him out greatly, and he rewarded with this box of onyxes. Quite valuable. Before I had the chance to sell them off, they were stolen.
You said they were stolen despite having the backing of the Thieves Guild.
Yes, indeed. I had paid a considerable sum, and I continue to. And they had been looking for whoever might have been responsible, but they hadn't come up with anything. And I obviously voiced my complaints to their higher-ups. I'll tell you. You say that you've secured some of my items?
Yes, we found the spoon. I pull a spoon out.
That's one of the set, yes.
Yes. And we're on the trail for the others, so I'll let you know when we find them.
Okay, make a bluff check.
Shit. Wait, hold on. Wait, I have some more here.
You beat it.
No,
you beat it. Yeah.
I beat him?
Yeah.
Look at it. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
By one. Nice. Okay, well that's excellent news. Although I had them replaced, so.
Well then, you want me to keep that spoon so that we can track down the rest of them?
Yes. I'd be eager to find out. I mostly just want the perpetrators punished, and punished as harshly as possible. As a litigator and a barrister in the city, I'd personally see to the appointment of the prosecutor.
We're hoping that this is a capital crime for such an offense.
Indeed.
Do you have any possible idea as to who might have done this?
Beyond the person who I was gracious enough to help out in the pinch and quickly sailed away, I couldn't imagine anyone else even knowing about the onyxes.
Were the onyxes as well as the silverware stolen from your house directly, or stolen from somewhere else?
No, right from here, upstairs. I keep a little vault. I don't want to show it off to everyone. It's quite secretive, but yes,
I understand.
I'm quite surprised. It would have taken a fair amount of insider knowledge to know that I had placed them there, and they weren't there for more than 2 days. And of course, it's not my man. Of course, he's been with the family since I was a lad.
Out of character, did Langston and the others mention that they were contracted to get these items?
No, they just picked them up.
They just picked them up. Okay.
They picked them up and they sold them, and then Frell was looking to score big with the book and the key. Like they only got a week's worth of shiver for the silverware and the bird cage.
Rip off.
Well, they got money for a week's worth of shiver.
Yeah, but that's.
You're implying that somebody on the inside assisted with this.
Well, I don't know who else would even know that I had them.
Anyone to finger?
I can't think of
guy
anyone.
Who greeted us?
I can't think of anyone. I mean, beyond the
servants,
the reprobate that I helped. Perhaps he got a little loose with his lips in his celebration before he sailed off with his some sort of reavers or some sort of thing, some sort of connection in the north of the land of the 8 cities. It was a rough and tumble bunch, that lot. There was a bar fight down by the docks, and he killed a man. But I arranged for his freedom, his defense, and he paid me off in these onyxes. It's not that big of a deal, really. I mean, it didn't cost me much time or effort. It was a fairly simple defense, self-defense, and blah blah blah. And I was more put out about the silverware at the time, and perhaps the fact that my secret safe wasn't as secret and safe as I thought it was. More insulted than anything, and I'm disappointed that I pay a rather sizable stipend annually to the Thieves Guild, and this still happens to me. It's a matter of principle, you know?
I can understand the affront.
Well, I appreciate that that blackguard Stanton Jegard Stanton finally getting a competent team together to research this.
We should have this case cracked in no time.
Well, I look forward to your results. By the way, should you succeed, and you ever need the services of a competent barrister, look no further. I am one of the city's best.
I hear you are the best. So
What?
Much appreciated.
Well, I thank you.
All right. I think we're good.
Okay, we're good. It's like 6:00 now.
I got my spoon back, right?
You got your spoon back, yes, for research.
Yes.
Yeah, research, of course.
Yeah, to match the rest of the set with.
Yeah.
I can't believe I rolled a
that you
2.
have in your, make sure that everything else in your pocket is the same set.
Yeah.
Jingle, jingle, jingle on the wall.
Where,
All right.
so you guys are in the neighborhood now.
Unhelpful.
What's that?
So that was both helpful and very unhelpful.
Yeah. You guys are in the neighborhood right now of Lord Denal.
Drop in.
Drop in.
Yeah.
Don't we have to speak with them at some point anyway?
I don't know. I don't think so, but
I thought we did.
he might know some stuff.
If we're here, we may as well ask.
Yeah. He's it's about to be dark. You know that he generally can be found at the gallery around this time.
Is it the gallery?
All right, it's right around the corner, literally. You go around the corner from Jarek's house, and what's the name of it? The Silver Smerduke is right on the corner, and then you pass by the famous tavern, the Golden Lamprey. It's kind of raucous and it's a little dangerous in there. And then right next door, on the other side of the alley, is flight of stairs up into the gallery, the seating room, and there is a little bit of a lineup formed at the gallery. They've got a new bouncer on. Sometimes you'll see Rakkernash standing out there, but you can tell that when the gallery is just regular business, they have like just a regular staff. You think that Rakkernash was mostly there in case Maria came back. And then since she's been dispatched, it's just been a regular doorman. Who's familiar with you? Not overly familiar, but familiar enough that he waves you past the line. Some people look rather snooty at you. Who are these? Who's this lot? They're just walking in. What's going on here? And this is a fairly wealthy part of town too. So, people kind of in a huff. And you walk in. There's about a dozen tables, most of them full. And you can see over at the bar in the little corner area where he holds court is Lord Danow, and he seems to be entertaining a young lady.
Him and his young ladies. He was the one that got succumbed to the vampire, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's. We don't think that's a vampire too, do we? She missed it away. We never got her, did we?
Oh yeah, you got her. You quite got her.
I sanctified her to death.
Yeah, and you burned her up in the fireplace.
Okay, so we made sure she was dead. Right.
So when Lord Danow was sick, he kind of looked like this. This is how you remember him after the throes, the trance, without the magical sword and handkerchief, but with like the pallid gray skin.
Yeah, the vibe is there.
Yeah, the vibe is there. Now, several months past those incidents, this is how he looks. Little colors coming back to his skin. He seems to be a little paler, a little hardier. Still nattily dressed, of course, and he's got the refined gray. Cuts a fairly dashing figure, and he doesn't seem to spot you at first.
We assume he's entertaining a lady, so
Probably has his attention focused elsewhere.
Yes. Make yourselves known, or...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, he sees you guys. Maybe he looks up. He says, "Oh, lovely, my dear. Maybe in about an hour or so we can continue our conversation." And of course. And she gets up. My friends, have a seat. So good to see you. What brings you to the gallery this fine evening?
We're doing a little research on tracking down a spider cult.
Yeah.
We were in the neighborhood.
It's quite possible that Rakkernash has informed you about some of what we've been doing.
Little bits. I haven't seen him this evening, although he stopped off with a package for me at the Smerduke. He said that he had entertained you for lunch.
He did.
Something about something about a bird cage. I didn't really pick it up. And then he was off. He took two of the men and away he went. He seemed to be rather focused. What are you all into? This is intriguing.
We think we've narrowed down the source of this new drug and dream issues to a spider cult.
The same drug that was used on me that night.
One that does the exact opposite act. One that prevents you from sleeping. Shiver, if you're familiar.
I've heard the word. I wasn't familiar with its effects. So, any connection with trance? This trance. I've learned a fair bit about it since.
Do tell.
Well, apparently, it has something of a mystical origin. A person extremely knowledgeable in the alchemical arts. I had a dosage of it procured, and he examined it. Are you familiar with Silas Ledbetter?
It's a name that I've heard.
Yes.
He's a bit of a master of the alchemical arts.
Didn't we get potions from him?
You certainly did.
Yeah.
You also sold him 2 doppelganger bodies.
Yeah.
Who knows what he did with those?
Yeah,
We
exactly.
don't ask. We don't ask questions. Once somebody has procured the product, we don't ask.
Somebody needs change shape potions. Somebody's going to be using those.
Yes,
we don't need to ask why.
Yes,
Not my concern.
Silas Ledbetter. Yes, he's an old family friend. I know of your talents, so he can kind of speak openly about this. You're familiar. I don't know if have you ever called a being from another place? I've seen it done once. I've never.
Summoned?
Yes, we did with
Yeah,
the
we
vampire. Yeah.
Well, also in the temple where we were fighting the creature, and we summoned the...
We're aware of summoning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an elsewhere. I'm not certain where or what it is, but there's places that aren't here. And in these places that aren't here, there's different materials and different beings. And the Silas Ledbetter had told me, and I trust him implicitly, his knowledge is beyond reproach, that this chemical is the bleed, the membrane. There's something that separates this from that, and this is a distillation of that membrane. He speculated that there is a place called the Land of Dreams, and that this material that constitutes the actual substance of trance in its purest form is the concentration of that membrane between here and there. Is that fascinating?
It is, and I think the new drug is probably related to that.
Where would someone get something like that from? And in the quantities that you could just go and buy it on a street.
we need to find out.
Of course, you guys know
trying
exactly where they got it from.
Yeah.
It's this giant pool of it.
But
Well,
Where
that was
would
the
it-
trance, not the shiver, right?
Yeah.
You're asking-
Yeah, no, he's talking about trance.
Okay.
Because he got drugged with trance, and he did some research on trance.
Trying to start your own trans empire?
No. I was curious. That night when you and I met, and I owe you my life due to our meeting, that night, I felt as if I was somewhere else. And it was only your voice, Arthur, and your voice, Zed, in my head that kept me tethered to this place here, to Lankhmar. I might have been lost completely had you not come along.
Well, he somehow managed to message Asami when we were in the house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
well, we do what we can. But now we're searching for something more nefarious.
More nefarious than that. Good heavens.
Considering what we saw it do to a man, like we said, it prevents you from dreaming, prevents you from sleeping. However, it seems that, from what we saw, once you do manage to sleep, well, how about you describe it best? Hassan?
The effects of trance?
Shiver.
I'm talking about the spiders coming out of you.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
So you can embellish it better.
Definitely. Well, it's creepy as heck. And yeah, so she describes the vision of the individual who had spiders come out, and it was like phantom spiders. It was like they were creepy as hell.
illusions,
They
yeah.
weren't really there. When you squished them, they didn't squish.
Remarkable.
But they bit you and they still hurt.
So this is what's happening right now?
It's really weird.
What can I help you with?
My apologies, Lord Denal. I
No,
did
call
not get
call
to
me.
meet you at that.
Just call me Tanal. We're friends. Friends.
I did not get to meet you at that particular time. In this dream you had, what did you see? Was it terrifying or was it pleasant?
It was the most horrific thing.
Was it your greatest fear?
It is now. I'm trying to think exactly what I shouted out. And he goes and describes whatever I described. I'd have to go back and look at that episode. I don't want to give conflicting.
You're good.
I think there might have been some spiders involved with that, though. I'm not 100%, so I don't want to oversell it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back and look, and I'll write up a description of Lord Denal's precise dreams that night that he remembers vividly to this day, because with that drug, he was actually somewhere else. Although his physical body was here.
Because Avis is making a connection of something, and I don't want it to seem incorrect, but she wants to know what his dream was about and if it was of complete fear.
Yeah, it was absolute horror, what he describes. But I can't.
And who
can't remember
into Landon's brain?
I think everybody was kind of going into.
Landon.
Langston, yeah.
Was it Arthur? Langston, sorry.
Yeah. I think
Arthur?
I think that night with Denal, he reached out and it was Asami that he got. But then Arthur and Zed were also able to use the message cantrip. And I think it was Arthur and Asami, or either Arthur and Zed, or Asami and Arthur or Asami and Zed that were kind
Some
of
combination.
it was some combination because all of you guys are pretty much able to use the message. Where
Yeah, we're all spellcasters, I think.
yeah, we're able to tether Lord Denal to reality, and kind of bring him, kind of keep him from
Arthur.
getting lost.
Langston was terrified. Right?
Undoubtedly.
I specifically Langston shouted out, "Oh no, please Mog help me." And Mog is the god of spiders.
He was asking Mog for help, which is strange. But the other drowned. And they said that the broken neck did not kill them. What if it is their fear that consumes them? That each nightmare isn't the same. There may be the spiders spilled throughout, but
And Zed remembers the sensation of the Gallow fields filling with water, despite there not being any water on the ground, walking through the fields.
Hence the drowning.
Yes.
because he drowned. But it seems that Shiver pulls their fears, pulls their nightmares into a physical reality. That we saw the spiders come out. We know that the other drowned.
Yeah,
And I assume,
you felt the webs on your skin.
yeah, I remember the webs. And I assume that during Denal's fit of fear that you manifested something.
What you're describing sounds a lot like shadow illusions. Something that I've seen, but unfortunately I've never been able to cast. It's a quite beautiful form, I believe. That's what it seems like.
Beautiful to you, but horrifying to them.
Well, illusions are in my blood. We may see things a little differently.
Lord Denal
Right.
says,
Choose what I
I
perceive.
have no opinion one way or another on illusions. I'm just
Lord Denal,
trying to keep the curse away, keep the curse and pain away from those who do not wish it.
Lord Denal says, I had an uncle, Uncle Inric. I've heard stories about him. I've never met the man. He apparently moved to the Eastern Empire before I was born. He was apparently quite a skilled sorcerer. His skills had even drawn the attention of the Overlord, and he had apparently some skill with that with which Arthur is discussing. It's in fact it's his house that I own now. Old Uncle Inric's house. The strange creatures carved on the balustrades in front of the home. From Uncle Inric's, we always assumed just his imagination, but perhaps there's more to it than that. But he, as far as we know, he lived a long and fruitful life in the Eastern Empire. We've not heard from him since he's left.
Again, I'm maybe well out of my depth on this one, but the connection is too coincidental not to. think that it works in such a way. Having quelled the nightmares of the 3 that reside within the walls of my temple, because they were afraid to sleep from the nightmares.
This is horrifying.
You didn't get to slam somebody's mouth shut while spiders poured out of it today.
Oh, I hate them. No. Quite terrified of spiders myself, personally. Oh.
I wouldn't recommend taking Shiver then.
Oh.
No, I'd only just...
Or going anywhere near the gallows.
The Gallow Fields, yes. The father had some interest. Something about the courthouse.
What interest did he have in the courthouse?
Perhaps purchasing of it. Several prominent properties in the Marsh District have lain fallow for a considerable amount of time. I think father was looking at refurbishing them and putting them to better use. Perhaps some gentrification in the Marsh District. They could definitely use some from what I see. I mean, I haven't been around in a while now with that festival on Carter Street. It's just the choke of traffic, and my carriage won't go down. I have to get out and walk among the rabble. I don't particularly relish that. I think father... his plan is to wait for the market to bottom out and snap up as much as he possibly can. Would seem to be his interest. He's a few of his men keep him appraised of the situation down that neck of the woods.
Making people sick and dying
Oh,
via a water well might make the prices drop.
my father's a bit of a bastard, but I don't think he'd stoop to that level.
No, but others might. Too many coincidences.
Indeed. So you said you was there anything else that I could help you with? The just
hoping that
just the drugs, or the what's happened? What's occurred? What's this business with a bird cage?
Trying to find a man who bought a bird cage.
more specifically because we believe that birdcage and what's inside of it could possibly be a hex against a certain group of people who might have dealt a bad hand towards those who hear.
Those who hear. Not heard
You're
that.
familiar with Chautauqua?
No, I am not. Enlighten me, Arthur.
Those who hear, or at least what they once were the ones who were producing and selling trance.
Oh yes. The fat beast. Yes. The sleepy one. That's what they called him, Chautauqua.
Chautauqua.
I see. Yes, the Ledbetter sketched him out on a piece of paper for me. Some sort of entity? Some kind of hullabaloo for the rabble to believe in while you do your whatever? Or something more?
Hullabaloo for the rabble to believe.
Or something more tangible?
While I have not met this creature, I have no reason to believe it isn't tangible.
I see. I just always assumed it was part of the charlatanry that, no offense, Avis, sometimes takes place on the Street of the Gods. A different god for every day of the year, I suppose. It's most of it fiction. But
Makai leans into Avis and goes, "Oh, snap, he got you."
Oh, perhaps when the festival is over, you'll do me the honor of coming by to visit.
I would be most pleased, indeed. So back to this bird cage. What I don't understand. Although
The cage specifically contained a blue parakeet, usually used in hexes against certain entities. Blue parakeet is very similar to a blue canary, which we've been informed had dealt a harsh blow to those who hear before.
a blue canary dealt a harsh blow. Some sort of fiendish bird?
No. Blue canary, it's a group, or more specifically, what appears to be the symbol of a certain little guild. You know that house that you had sold me?
Yes.
There is a gang of thieves who reside in one of the taverns there, known as the Blue Canary.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Apologies if I was not being as clear.
No, I passed by it several times and paid it no mind.
We were trying to locate this item to confirm whether or not it actually had such curses on it, but apparently it had already been sold to a, quote, very jittery man for a whole rilk. No names were given, no reasons were given. He just simply purchased it and left.
I see. And how did this is that was from my establishment, correct? The Iron
Tikoon.
The Iron Tikoon, yes. Rakkernash had mentioned something like that. Arab and Cole turned a tidy profit off of that item, and some cutlery as well. Apparently the person who sold it to us originally is now no longer with us.
I was going to get to that actually because he had died in quite a horrific way. All of his bones twisted and he had been drowned on dry land.
I see. Most unusual.
Quite indeed, especially since the things he had stolen included that bit of cutlery, as well as the birdcage, and quite interestingly, a book and a key.
I see. Does this book resemble the book that we're familiar with?
It was described similarly, but it's not the same book, as far as we're aware.
I see. Well, that's troublesome. I'd hate for that to pop up again. That was quite a bad time.
We were hoping that you may have heard about or maybe known anything about those who hear or the Brotherhood of the Spiders. Because we are getting quite stonewalled with most of our attempts with the spiders.
See, no, I hadn't really come up with much. I mean, just beyond my research, just wanted to know what was behind the sensations that I experienced that evening with that drug, the trance. I wanted to know what that was all about, but beyond that, I didn't really delve any deeper into that. So, some sort of band of mystics or something of this sort.
Those who hear, as well as the Brother of the Shadow, are sorceress groups.
I see. I know very little about them. I mean, no, I can't say as I learned a whole lot. Although Ledbetter did say that the drug trance was becoming increasingly rare, but I don't suspect the old codger has his finger on the pulse of the goings on the street. I think he's more wrapped up in his own researches and his own wild experiences.
I'd imagine trance is becoming a lot more rare. Nobody else seems to know where it comes from.
Do you know where it comes from? Like where?
Oh, did we not inform you of that? He gives like a smile. He gives like a smile about that.
I can't remember whether you did or you didn't. If you did, he would remember. I don't know if you told.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't think you told him about the temple in the swamp and the it bleeding down the walls or anything like that.
To answer your question earlier about where you might get some of that, where you might acquire some of that essence. On one of our prior escapades a few months ago, we had dealings with a temple over in the swamps that was bleeding the stuff is the best way to describe it.
I see. Bleeding it. Some sort of rent in the fabric between the two places?
Quite possible, yes. It is not the type of magic that I specialize in, so I am not the one who can give you the best details on it, of course.
I see.
Did we notice the flow of that stopped once things were resolved?
It did for the most part, because you guys came in, rusted out the temple where Avis now resides, and a lot of the. I think you guys might have a reasonable store of it. I don't know. There was a fair amount in the temple. I don't know if anybody has trance on their party sheet, on their character sheet.
The Somni did not pick any up.
Let's see here.
I don't see any in mine.
Luna's got a pure dose of it. Okay. Yeah, he's yeah, I mean, once you did that, you pretty much went on to like bigger and better things. That was the escapades beneath the keyhole, and when you came out, it was like a whole other world up in the Marsh District. Like you say, it was destitute before, and it was drug riddled and crime riddled and stuff like that. But it's absolutely, it's even worse than you could have ever imagined now, and for good reason. I mean, if people are dying the same way that Langston would have died if you weren't there on a fairly regular basis, that's got to be just a horror show. And you don't know if that's what happened to Frell or something else. But you did find out tonight that it happened in the Gallow Fields. And you did find out what happened to him. If you want to, if you tell Danao about the Sarinis, he might know a bit about them.
Go for it.
It's kind of like a rival family, so to speak. They're always the Valinors and the Sarinis are always kind of like jockeying for position under the eye of the Overlord. They're always kind of. It's most of the nobility. There's a few old families that just don't seem to care, and they've kind of lapsed into obscurity. But everybody else is kind of like it's a constant jockeying for position. At Denal describes, and there's always a back and forth between the Valinors and the Sarinis. Nothing too underhanded, but they'd always be eager to embarrass one another if the opportunity presented itself. He does sort of know about the nephew, Frell, that he's kind of a bit of a ne'er-do-well. He said that when he was a younger man, people would talk about him like that, but it was just because he had abandoned his family's holdings to make a name for himself, and that the only advantage that he took from his father was to live in his uncle Enric's house while he was working his way up. So he didn't have to buy a mansion. He had one kind of given to him. But that was the rest of it was his own hard work and his own business acumen. But when he was a young man striking out on his own in the city as opposed to staying with the family, it was always talk that he was kind of a man about town sort of thing, where he was kind of going his own way. And you get the vibe that that's sort of what happened to Frell as well, but maybe he went down a darker path than Denal. It wasn't lost in his work. He maybe got lost in crimes and drugs. He might have even had something to do with one of these cults. You don't know. Like, it seemed fairly specific that he would rob the one place with something obviously pretty important. You did find out from, although you didn't ask, Jegard Stanton that there was no book or key found on him. So the book and the key are at large, which I assumed you always kind of thought, but we hadn't actually confirmed. Stanton confirmed that there was no items found on him. You didn't have to specifically tell him anything about a book or a key. So you know that there's a familial rivalry between Denal's family, specifically his father Essen, and the Sarinis. There's several of the Sarinis, like kind of branches of the family. They all live in a rather large palatial estate in the Noble District. Denal was kind of shocked to learn that it was Frell who had turned up dead. He didn't know him personally or anything like that. He just kind of knew of him as, the black sheep of that family. And if you were ever going to embarrass the Sarinis, Frell would likely be the source of that embarrassment. I don't know if it has something to do with maybe the Sarinis had him killed. Maybe, I don't know. It's that's what Jegard Stanton wants to know. In the backdrop of all of this, you've got those who hear and the Brotherhood of the Spider. Those who hear, at least there is there's the reality wrinkle. There's the warehouse, which you haven't inspected yet. There's the home above the warehouse that you haven't inspected yet. You know that there is Lord Denal tells you that he was able to procure the dose of trance from a trance den on the far side of the Gallow Fields called Rook's Roost. Rather opulent. Kind of the equivalent of an opium den. Says richly appointed in red velvets, and it's kind of like kind of dreamy lanterns all over the place. The owner is a man by the name of Asnan Rook. He's a rather flamboyant character from the east, large mustache. He might know more about trance. His supply is probably dwindling, but it's still a fairly popular place, trance den. So he still has some, obviously.
Might be a good visit place.
Cost you 5 silver smaragds to get right through the door. Once in there, if you wanted to take a trance trip, that would be the place I would go to first. Seems kind of comfortable and a safe place to engage in that sort of activity. It cost me 5 gold rilks to take, plus the cost of the trance, to take a pure sample away with me, which the old Easterner was more than happy to take off my hands.
Okay. We don't think he'd be able to give us his source. Oh, I guess not.
Oh, I don't know about that, but he would definitely be able to give you some, probably, if he still has any left. Like I say, this is while you were away. You guys were away for a month and change. A month and a half, approximately. And by away, just like 10 feet below the city or 60 feet below the city.
Yeah.
So not
right.
super long ago.
It only felt like a couple days.
Yeah, exactly.
But we sure were hungry at the end. We're ready to eat big bugs.
So, do we have a inkling of where we want to start next we meet?
Well, we should probably talk to the ones in my temple when the day breaks.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow.
But as for where to go from here, it's...
Yeah, we keep getting sent around in circles. We gotta start making some headway.
Yeah.
Just focus in on a spot and see where it leads you. You've got a handful of spots now. Every time you talk to somebody else, you get 4 more locations.
Mm-hmm.
If we're feeling antsy, or if we're feeling confident, we could just try heading over to the night market and just seeing what takes us.
We could, or go back to that freaking...
We could also go back to the
courthouse.
The other wrinkle. Or the courthouse, that too. We have not really checked the courthouse. We just saw Langston get spidered there.
Yep. Yeah. You also have the Gallowfield, which is on the other side of the courthouse, and you've got this Rook's Roost place, which is on the other side of the Gallowfields, across from the courthouse.
Depending on which we pick.
So the Gallows Field sounds like a big location with a lot of spaces to go. We might want to go there.
Well, with that in mind, it would be better to do it after a rest so that I can better prepare for such an adventure.
Yeah, I didn't spend much, but yeah, you are a prepared caster, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
So the Rook's Roost is somewhere over here, and the Swan Row Courthouse is over here. And if you questioned where he found the body, it was right here. I imagine you would have asked.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been good. Yeah, would have been good to ask.
Yeah, right on the other side of that bridge.
Yeah, so that's a big hub with a lot of possible information.
Yeah.
Would you go there next time?
But definitely need time to prepare for that adventure on my end, anyway.
Make some headway. Yeah.
How many spells have
map, you know it's important.
How many How many spells have you cast today, Aves?
At least one first and 2 second.
I think Avis primarily wants to change her prepared list.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
basically.
you can do that.
I prepare better spells for going into such a thing because I was more prepared to fix people with restorations. And
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, so you can do that.
Potential combats.
It takes an hour. We'll say that you can meditate on that and do it while everyone's talking around to Lord Danal.
And I used quite a few fervor.
Okay. Well, it's up to you. But if you want to change your list, feel free. It takes about an hour. Any of the prepared casters can. I think Luna might have spin a feat so she can do it faster. Either that or that's Ratatouille. I can't remember. But yeah, if you want to take an hour and re-prepare your slots, you don't get anything that you've already spent, but the unspent slot, you can definitely change spells. That's no problem.
Indeed.
And the evening time might be the best time to visit a place like the Gallow Fields.
Yeah.
It
might be. I just
or the
worry
night
about
market.
The charges I still have at, my temple.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be waking up until tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we're going to be doing them next session, I assume.
I would think so. Yeah, we're about we're getting like 11:10 right now, so it's a decent spot to put a pin in it. We'll say that you're walking back across town, having already prepared.
So, how little XP did we get?
Little, but there is an XP reward for teaming up with Stanton.
1,021.
Exactly 1,000. So we need 21 left.
Do you guys want to be 6th level that badly? I'm good with it if you do.
The problem with us being 6th level is I'm not necessarily going to get those spells to that day.
Will you not be able to do that? Would you not
because I'm getting 3rd level spells. If we level up, I will get 3rd level spells, so I won't necessarily get them unless I rest.
You get 3rd level spells? You're a war priest.
I think I get 3rd level spells next. I don't know.
I thought you got them by like 7 or 8.
Well, if we do it, that'd be great. We'll have more resources, but if not,
okay,
actually we will. So.
Let's do this. So let's do this here.
I don't know. I'm looking at a 3rd level spell, I suppose. I was looking at one earlier. So I might be incorrect.
All right.
But there's something I'm getting that I'm excited
That should do it.
War priests.
You
get your 3rd level spells at 7th level.
Yeah, there's something I'm getting that I'm excited about.
You get a bonus feat.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, you get a bonus feat.
So you guys have spent basically the last 3 sessions investigating and going around and learning everything you can to learn. And because a lot of this game is a lot of role play and a lot of listening to me drone on about stuff that you might not really know about, yeah, it's fair to say that you followed enough necessary threads to gain yourselves a level.
Ding.
Bing, bing.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
So nicely done.
Something about the feat I was excited about. I don't recall. But the spell I was looking at is 3rd level, so I don't get it yet.
Don't get it yet.
I assume we're going to be keeping the game open for a while.
Yeah, I'll keep the room open, and
yeah, because I do
need to
need
crash,
to quite
so.
soon.
yeah, me too. I'm gonna check out, but feel free to update your characters and stuff like that. I'll
next time.
I'll also open the room. I'll have the room up here and there over the next couple weeks. I've got I've got some things to do. I've a couple things that I realized I hadn't quite done yet that I needed to get done. So I'll do that. And feel free to jump in if you ever see the room open. Jump in and update your characters.
Yeah, are you going to be keeping it for an hour, right?
Oh yeah. I'll keep it open all night tonight. I'll just turn my monitor off and leave it up.
I do need to depart quite soon, so I'll see you next time.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Have a good night, everybody. Good game.
We're dragging the level from PFRPG basic rules, right?
PFRPG, yes. Let's see here.
Not core, not plain.
So in the notes section, let's see here. It's let's see here. Classes.
It worked correctly. Good. Yep, that's.
No, not the basic rules. It's the PFRPG classes and archetypes.
That didn't come up, but PFRPG basic rules is what.
Oh no, that's the one you want to avoid. So you want to open them.
I've been doing this whole time.
Oh, okay.
Host.
The one you want is PFRPG classes and archetypes. That's if you're doing like regular basic no archetypes, then as long as you keep it to the same one, you're good.
Yeah, we made her a down striker, but we made that adjustment at level 5, so I can't undo regular bard and then add sound striker. It would fuck things up, right?
Yeah, you'd have to to start right from the start.
I just been adding normal bard, and then we can adjust.
Yeah.
Really, this at level 6 is the last adjustment we need to make.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sound striker anyway, and I can get with you later for the weird words ability.
Ooh.
To customize that. So.
Cool.
It's in the meantime, I'm just doing the basic stuff.
All right, excellent. I think maybe Wednesday night I might have the room open.
Okay.
In addition, I'm just going to leave it open tonight, so feel free to do whatever you need to do.
Oh, this is great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good game, everybody.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you all later.